right, this week we're going to take a look at some training footage, not for any particular reason, just to have some fun with it. Start out with skipping rope. Now, this is only a minute long, so I want to save some time. Actually did one single 20-minute long round, and then once I was finished with that, I set up the tripod and then just skipped for this extra minute, solely for the purposes of this video, because I don't really like filming my work, because I don't want to add to the layer of practice of filming for the video, and I get my work done and then get some extra shots for the channel. The jump rope's essential cardio for your striking game, in my opinion, and the only way to get it is to stay on that rope. You find your rhythm, find your footwork, make it happen. So you just gotta have reps, reps. Keep it going. So not too shabby. So that's my 21st minute there. It was nice and warmed up, so it's easy to get the momentum going. Then we pop right into some shadow boxing. Again, I did my full round of work, and then I popped the camera up and shot this extra minute. When I say round, a 10-minute round. 10-minute round of shadow boxing, bang, bang, boom. Moving your feet. And that is what I'll say, Alex Pereira is Alex Pereira, best in the world, 2-weight champion, absolute monster. He's got that sort of methodical, pumping it, staying in place. But if you're not Alex Pereira, you don't want to shadow box like that, right? You want to move your feet, combinate, see your opponent, and implement your style. If you're somebody who uses the edge of the ring, edge of the cage, and circle out, pump the jab, counter punch. But you can't overestimate the importance of shadow boxing and what it can do for your game. You want it to be as close to your fighting style as possible. Don't just sit there and throw random punches. All right. We're here working on the bag, and I put the speed bag snippet up there in the corner because I didn't think we needed a full 5 minutes of the speed bag and then 5 minutes of the heavy bag, so I just kind of put them together. And I'm not sure if my plan was to just commentate what's going on here or just talk about the importance of training, but again, another 10 minutes on the speed bag and then 10 minutes on the heavy bag right after. That's what I was doing all last week. So last week I went back to Missouri to check on the business, run a couple administrative errands, make sure everybody's morale is still up, and then do a couple other things. And this was the training I was doing in the Odyssey in the spot since I was out of town here. I'll be back in the jiu-jitsu gym tonight. But just staying in shape, staying ready. I didn't have anybody to train with. I didn't have any partners, anything like that. Just good, solid, solo hard work. So, and this is it. Like I said, looking clean. 20 minutes on the rope, 10 minutes shadow boxing, 10 minutes on the speed bag, and then went right to work on this wrecking ball. You see, pumping the jab. And again, moving the head, boom, boom, enter big combination, step off, and just rip the shots. There we go. And sort of working a little bit of that Nick Diaz style, right, where you just kind of pump the straight punches about 50%, and then find the body shot and rip it. So that's a lot of what I was doing this last week. I was having a lot of fun on this heavy bag, this wrecking ball, because you can really dig under and rip those body shots. So that's sort of my goal. And this was Tuesday. So I shot all this, and the great thing about recording some of your work is that when you watch it back, you can coach yourself. You can go, okay, there's a spot, there's where I need to improve. And there's never anything wrong with that. I certainly believe recording for the sake of review and improving your game it's a beautiful aspect. But if you're just recording so you can post and tell everybody that you're going to be the next Conor McGregor, then I don't really see a point. Yeah, good. Always pump the jab. Everything behind the jab. Everything behind the jab. Letting it rip. And still, take note that the speed bag is still getting worked up there. I love just ripping that thing apart. And the thing about the speed bag is called the speed bag, and you can really get some momentum going, but oof, big body shots. But I call it the rhythm bag. That's why I really, really love to work it. I think there's a lot of people who overlook it. Maybe they think it's like an aesthetic thing or something, but I love it. It's great shoulder conditioning. It gets you in the rhythm of your work, and I believe it helps condition your ability to continually throw punches. A lot of people don't like the speed bag because they're not very good at it, and they don't want to put in the time to get good at it. But like with anything, just like with jump roping, you just got to do it. And see, here's an important note, right? Because we're working on switch hitting, and as I went to southpaw, my left hand was kind of down, not quite covering, because I'm used to standing orthodox and kind of having it out, pawing as the jab hand. So I noticed that when I watched this back, and then the rest of the week, as I switched to southpaw, I made a conscious effort to boom, glue that left hand to my temple to protect. So you hear, it's like, yeah, I'm throwing good lead shots to my right, but leaving that hand down. So that's what I mean about reviewing. Don't just sit there and go, oh shit, that looks good, that looks good. Find spots where you can see places that need work. But you can always applaud, because really just ripping these shots to the body. Bang. Yeah, let them have it. All day, every day. Beautiful. Great work. That's a training session. And then at the end, pumping out some handstands. Some extra shoulder conditioning, extra shoulder strength, stability. Really, really getting close to being able to hold it perfectly still. And a great way to do it is, as you'll see, kind of go down into a lunge position. See here, and then as you rock forward, swing up. And you want to catch yourself right there in that center point. Now, the progression from here will be to pop up and just be able to hold it still for a minute. Or maybe the first goal should be 10, 20 seconds. I'm still got to walk around a little bit to hold it, but I'm getting closer and closer. But yeah, that's the training I was doing all last week, and it just felt like great work. Calves were super sore, because all in all, I jump roped for an hour and 40 minutes last week. An hour of shadow boxing, hour of speed bag work, and an hour on the wrecking ball. And some, like I said, some handstands for fun, and also just keeping that blood pumping, keeping the shoulders working, and staying after it, staying active, working on that body strength. Because that's all the difference, when you get into certain exchanges, you get into the clinch, stuff like that. Pays dividends to have isometric power. So that's a training session. Like I said, I don't really have a purpose. That roll, I need to tuck more. But hey, let's keep working. So like I said, I didn't really know exactly what the plan was for this video. I just knew I was out of town, and I figured, I'll train, and I'll get some shots of that, and do a little informal commentary over top, just to give you a look. I was back home at the lake. You got to see inside the training center that I built, some of the work that I do when I'm solo. And that's how it is, man. I know not everybody has the ability to construct their own high-level training center. But at the end of the day, if you can jump rope and shadow box, you can do a lot of work right there in your driveway, in your backyard. Like I said, you don't need a crazy program. Just put the timer at 20, 30 minutes and put the reps on. That's really what it comes down to. Build that mental fortitude. So cheers to everybody. Have a beautiful week. Let's keep going.